Hey, folks, glad you could be here today. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And when I do my show, we do something called show prep in the biz. And when I do my show prep, I think, okay, what's a topic? What's going on this week or what's going on this month? And what can I do to help you, the listener, get a better, healthier life? And so it was interesting. I had a friend of mine over the other day, and I needed something from the grocery store. And I said, all right, I'm going to walk over there. I'll be right back. And I live maybe, I don't know, quarter mile, half mile from a grocery store. And I start, walking out the door, and I had my keys on the counter. He goes, aren't you going to take your keys? How are you going to get there? I said, well, I'm going to walk. And he looked at me. He says, what do you mean you're going to walk? I said, well, just up the street. I mean, it's no big deal. And it just like shocked him to think that. He goes, I would never think to walk to the grocery store. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to put together a list of things that a lot of things I do every day, but things that you can do every day to start improving your life. We'll call it small steps. What small steps can you take all day, every day to get better? Because when people first get to come into my life, they're always fascinated by little things I do every day that I just take for granted. I just assume this is how everybody does it, but apparently they don't. So one of the things, of course, is like walk to work or, walk to the store or whatever. Another thing I do, of course, from a nutrition standpoint is I don't do any animal products. So I don't have milk or meat in my house, of course. I'm a vegan. But you can do almond milk, coconut milk. Simple switch like that. Relatively inexpensive. And once people switch over, this is what's cool about this, is once people switch over to coconut, almond, hemp, there's chia seed milk, there's pea milk now. I saw that somewhere, not P-E-E, P-E-A, pea milk. And when they switch over to it, they say, I feel so much lighter. I feel so much healthier just by doing that. Now, there is probably a psychological component to that where they're taking an action step to be healthy, and that's something I want you to consider. And that's why a lot of patients, when they come into our offices for chiropractic care or nutritional work, they'll say, Doc, I'm just so happy I'm making the first step. So you're taking an action step, and that's pretty good. But you can do something simple like that. Another thing you can do, I'm just going to rapid fire these things. This is the whole show today, just rapid fire ideas. And if you miss them, because you may say, oh, that's a good one, I could do that, I can do that. What you can do is just go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, and we're going to archive this and hundreds of hours of other shows. And it's all free, and you could listen to it over and over again. And what I want you to do, too, is pick out topics that you like, listen to them, or you think will interest you, and then send them to your friends. Let your friends listen to these, because this is healthcare that really, really works, and I don't want you keeping it a secret. Because the biggest complaint I get by far, 32 years in practice, biggest complaint me and my team of doctors get, I have 5 other doctors, the biggest complaint is, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't somebody tell me that I could have done something as simple as give up milk and my sinuses would have cleared up because milk is the #1 food allergen? That I could have switched to coconut milk, which, by the way, tastes a lot better. Why didn't somebody tell me sooner? Why didn't I do something sooner? Why didn't I think to walk to the grocery store instead of drive? So what I'm going to try today is, set off some light bulbs in your head. When you're brushing your teeth, do squats. I know people, I don't have time to work out. I personally don't like work. I like hiking. I like gardening. I like doing something. But going to the gym, working out is not my thing. So what works for me? Walking is one of my favorite things. And so if you're brushing your teeth, you have 2 minutes. Just do some gentle squats. You don't go all the way down to the floor. You don't have to impress anybody. Just kind of drip down a little bit and work those little butt muscles a little bit. I think you'll be pretty happy with that. When you have lunch, bring your lunch with you, because you're going to save so much time and so much money. Like what I do, typical lunches that I'll do. And if you know what, I have a whole book on this. It's called Eating Right for the Health of It. That was one of my first book I actually wrote, and that's on my website, drjoeesposito.com, and it tells you how to change your diet. But bringing your lunch is a huge thing that's going to save you so much time and so much money. So one of the things I like is hummus. I don't like store-bought hummus. Every now and then, I'll get a coupon for a free one, or it's on sale, and I say, hey, let me try this brand. Nothing is ever as good as the one I make, and it's real simple to make. Just get a can of chickpeas, a little tahini. You got to buy some tahini. It's sesame seed butter. Like we have almond butter and peanut butter. This is just ground up sesame seeds. A little bit of tahini, maybe a can of chickpeas, maybe a teaspoon of tahini, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of olive oil, some salt. I put a little water in there, too. Put it in a food processor and whip it up. I like that so much better than any commercial hummus I've ever had. If you're okay eating garlic, throw some garlic in there. I just see patients all day, and I don't want to stink because I'm Italian already, so I got to be careful. And then I'll grab some celery. a head of organic celery, whatever, a bunch of organic celery, anywhere from 98 cents on sale to $1.40. Cut it up, wash it. I got a brush. I brush it off real quick, and I can do 2 lunches out of 1 bunch of celery. And the cost of that, maybe it's that 50 cents, can of chickpeas, maybe $1, so maybe $2. Let's say $3. Let's get crazy. So $3. And the cool part is you don't have to decide where you're going to go for lunch. You don't have to get in your car. You don't have to drive. You don't have to park. You don't have to leave a tip. You don't have to eat bad food because most food out is going to be worse than the stuff you make at home. And if you do that 2 days a week, you just saved a ton of money. And you're eating something that's really good for you. Celery is one of the most nutritious foods you can eat because it's loaded with minerals. And minerals help neutralize acids in your body. Celery, spinach, and figs are 3 of the most alkalizing foods in the world. They neutralize acids in your body. And if the body becomes too acidic, it's a perfect environment for disease. So here you're saving money, feeling better, helping the bowels work more efficiently because chickpeas and tahini, sesame seeds, and celery loaded with fiber. There's really no downside to this at this point. And then you can get pre-made salads. I don't mind. I love cooking. And I don't mind buying a head of lettuce and chopping it up and cleaning it and making a salad dressing. But you're not me. So you can buy a bag of pre-made lettuce or mixed greens. You can buy organic, preferably, but even a non-organic, I'll let you go on this one. And just bring a bowl, and you can get some organic salad dressings, $2, $3 for a bottle. Now, I think that's ridiculous what they charge for salad dressing, sometimes $4 or $5. In that book, Eating Right for the Health of It, I have a whole chapter on nothing but salad dressings. So you can make a big batch of salad dressings and just leave it in your refrigerator and use it when you need it. So have a salad one day. So let's assume we have salad 2 days a week. We have hummus 2 days a week. And one day a week, you might want to go out with your friends. So there you go. You're saving a gazillion dollars, and you're eating healthier food. And that's helping all the way around. It's good for the environment. It's good for you. You're going to feel better. You're going to live longer. There's no downside to that. So these are little tiny, we're talking about small steps you can take today to start improving your health. And that's a real simple one. I want you to drink a big glass of water before every meal. Big glass of water, 8, 10 ounces, whatever. Try to get a filter if you can. On my website, I have filters that you can use under your sink. I have a whole house water filter at my house. It filters every drop of water. And the reason is when water comes in from the street, of course, it's going to have chlorine and fluorine and chemicals. And so I want to filter all that out because not only drinking, but if I shower, if I take a hot shower, I'm going to absorb the equivalent of about 8 glasses of water's chlorine into my skin. Chlorine is a poison, and it kills bacteria. And I want bacteria on my skin, good bacteria. I want good bacteria in my colon. 70% of my immune system is in my digestive system because of bacteria. So we want that there. So I filter all the water. It's about a $2,000 unit. I'm not asking you to get that. At least get one under your sink and wash your fruits and vegetables and drink that water. Now, the reason I want you to drink a lot of water before a meal is this. There's a part of your brain that controls hunger, and there's a part of your brain that controls thirst. And when you're a baby, those 2 parts are separate. And so you can distinguish between hunger and thirst. That's why if you ever had a baby around, baby says, I want to drink, I want to drink, I want to drink. And as you get older, you don't get thirsty very often, do you? Babies are constantly thirsty. You're not, because those 2 parts of the brain grow together. So when you're hungry, many times you're not hungry, you're thirsty. And there's a lot of studies out showing that if you can limit your caloric intake, limit how much food you put in your body, you're going to live longer. Now, to a point, of course. But when I sit down to a meal and I'm hungry, I don't care what the research says. I want to eat till I'm stuffed. You like me? I bet you are. And so what do we do about that? If you have a big glass of water before every meal, it's going to help satisfy that part of the brain that's telling you you're thirsty when you think you're hungry, and you're going to eat a whole lot less, which is pretty cool. I don't eat meat. If you eat meat, I'm going to suggest you do organic only. Again, we're talking about small steps that you can do to get well. So if you're going to eat meat, organic only or any animal product, or don't eat it. And the reason is, before 1980, we didn't have to worry so much about steroids, hormones, chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, genetically modified foods, weed killers being sprayed on the foods. The animals grown in confined operations where they're stressed out constantly. And so that's not a good animal you want to eat. Oh, God, I hate to say this because I don't eat meat, but if you're going to eat meat, you want to eat a happy animal. And so chickens are stuck in these cages where they can't even move or turn around, and pigs the same way in many cases, not always, but many. So if you're going to eat animal products, I'd recommend organic only, or just don't eat it. I don't eat it. And you want to save money? Don't eat meat. Don't eat animal products. I save so much money eating this lifestyle. So if you do it just because you're cheap, if nothing else and you're cheap, it's a great way to go. And study after study has shown a plant-based diet is the way to go. It's really hard to argue the research that's out there. Try to stay away from desserts. But if you're going to eat dessert, at least split it with somebody. But the problem is this. In your stomach, you have acid. And if you eat something like meat, let's say, meat takes about 6 hours to get from your stomach to your small intestine because the acids have to break the proteins down into amino acids and then pass them along into the small intestine. Well, what happens is if you're going to throw sugar on top of this protein, this meat, the sugar usually out of your stomach, if it's a piece of fruit, 20 minutes, like a cantaloupe or a honeydew or watermelon. But if you're going to throw sugar on top of this high-protein meal, which is the worst time to eat dessert at the end, that sugar is going to sit in a warm environment, and it can ferment. And it can break down into an alcohol. It'll actually become a little fermentation process in your gut. So eating dessert really is a stupid idea because you're putting sugar on top of a heavy meal. The less you eat, the better off you're going to be. So, we joke about have dessert first. Actually, in a perfect world, you should have dessert alone. Wait a couple of hours and then have your meal, but that may not be real to you. We talked about walking every way you possibly can. Walk to the grocery store, walk around the car, walk around the house. If I'm on the phone, never ever, by the way, I did a show on this not too long ago, never put your cell phone next to your ear, because if you read the directions on the cell phone, it even says, don't put the cell phone next to your ear, keep it at least a half inch away. I have an earpiece, a wired earpiece, don't use the wireless, a wired earpiece, and I'll take it, I'll hold it in my hand away from my body, and I'll just walk around the house if I have to. The other day, a friend of mine called me from California. We had a long conversation. A friend of ours passed away, and he's the fellow who helped me formulate Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, Dr. Joe's Cold and Flu Tonic, Immune Booster, Intestinal Cleanser. These are all supplements I have on my website. And it was a sad time, and so Johnny and I needed to just reminisce about Ron and talk about his life. And so I said, this is going to be a long conversation. Put on my shoes, beauty of cell phones, put in my earpiece, walked around the neighborhood. So that gives me an opportunity to keep my body in motion. In fact, right now, when I'm doing my radio shows, I stand, and I'm constantly moving back and forth because you want to do about 10,000 steps a day. And so that's a neat little trick. So instead of sitting on your phone, walk around on your phone. We didn't have that opportunity when I was a kid. We have that opportunity now. But again, try to keep the phone away from your body because those electromagnetic frequencies can be pretty dangerous. But that's a neat way to get your exercise in if you have to. If you have a family, it's a great idea to take the family out for a walk after dinner. I remember when I was a little kid, maybe 10, 11 years old, I went to Germany with my German grandparents. And first of all, you walked everywhere. And second of all, after dinner, everybody went out for a walk. And it was a little tiny town. We stayed in a couple little tiny towns. And you walk, and everybody's out walking after dinner. It's just part of the European culture. And here, it's not. So I'd like to bring back some old world habits and get out and just stay in motion. And it's amazing how much better you'll sleep, how much better you'll go to the bathroom, how much better your love life gets. Everything starts to change when you do these little tiny steps. It's not hard. Let's see what else we got here. If you roller skate or rollerblade, that's an excellent exercise. I love rollerblade. I used to play roller hockey, so that's a great exercise to do. And get out when it's cool. Get out when the weather's nice. Get out and just get in motion. I personally like that. I like that feeling of blading and being in motion. If you're a biker, get out and bike. You don't have to go anywhere. I mean, you get on your bike and say, all right, I'm going to go bike 10 minutes out and 10 minutes back and do a 20-minute bike. A buddy of mine bikes, he mountain bikes. And sometimes he overdoes it because he'll say, I got home, I couldn't even move. And for 2 days, I couldn't move. Well, that's probably overdoing it. But keeping the body in motion is going to be so important to keep your body healthy. Try to only eat portions of food the size of your fist. And the reason is this. It takes 20 minutes to get the message from your stomach to your brain. And if you're going to eat a big plate of food, it takes you 20 minutes to eat, you're going to be full. If you eat food, a good way to do this is have a snack before dinner. Have a bag of nuts. Have a couple of chickpeas. Have some hummus or guacamole. Wait 20 minutes and then have your dinner. You're going to eat substantially less food. And a rule I have is I never go to a party hungry. Number one, I'm a vegan. I don't know what they're going to have there. But number two, when I'm at the party, I don't want to be eating and spitting food out and having garlic breath. I want to be able to enjoy my friends' company. Whoever my friends are, I want to enjoy their company. And so I don't want to be so burdened with the fact that I'm going to the party, I have to eat there. Now, if it's a dinner party, that's different. But think about that. And eat the healthy foods, too, so you have a lot more energy. And so we're talking today about little steps that you can do to make your life better. Now, how many of you have pain? Back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling? Raise your hands. About 80% of you, statistically speaking, should raise your hand. I'm going to guess the other 20% are lying. How about you fix the pain? Not cover up the pain, fix the pain. What would your life be like without pain? The number one cause that I find of pain is bones out of alignment, pinching nerves. If the first time you're tuning in, I'm board certified in chiropractic, orthopedics, pain management, double board certified in nutrition, BS in nutrition, award-winning author. These radio shows are heard all over the world. And I've been in practice now, active practice. I missed a half a day of work in the past 32 years because I hit my head and I was dizzy. So for 32 years, I've been seeing patients. And trust me, if you have pain, I would suggest going to a chiropractor and getting that checked. Because the biggest complaint I get from my patients is, why didn't I do this sooner? Now, if you'd like to come see us as a patient, and all our patients, we check the nervous system, the digestive system, we do a nutritional workup. If they have acid reflux, we try to fix that. It's usually a very easy fix. Go to my website to make an appointment. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. The website is drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe with number one Dr. Joe in the world. And we'll set you up a time to come see us. We accept most major medical insurances. But you know what, folks? With insurance being what it is, and especially now, rates have gone up, deductibles have gone up, and copays have gone up. So chances are you'll come see us and you'll say, do you accept my insurance? And whether we say yes or no, really, it doesn't matter because we're not going to charge you enough to meet your deductible. And some insurance companies, I have to laugh at this, they'll say, well, your copay is $50 and the services were $45, so we're only going to cover $45, the insurance company says. So you paid more than what we're going to cover, so we're not going to pay anything. That makes no sense. That sentence makes no sense, but it's very common in the insurance world now. So if you want to come see us, we'd love to see you, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you want to get out of pain, you want to live a better, fuller life, come see us. We'll see if we can help. drjoeesposito.com, again, or just Google Dr. Joe. So we're going to keep talking about little things that you can do all day, every day to make yourself better, okay? Go out and do yard work. Some of you pay people to do yard work. All right, well, maybe you don't want to do all the yard work. Start a little garden if you can. I have 2 gardens at my house, and I just don't have the capability sometimes to manage them. And I have fig trees and blueberry bushes. The fig trees are cool. Fig trees, my grandfather brought clippings over from Italy way, way back when. My father took clippings from his tree. I took clippings from my father's tree. So we've kept this tree genetics, if you will, going for years. And boy, when it's fig time, I can't pick them fast enough because the birds get to them. So fig trees don't even need any maintenance. So plant some fig trees in your backyard, don't even need maintenance. But if you have a garden, work it. If you have a garden, don't have time to work it, I've posted in like organic gardening websites and meetup groups, and people would love to work your garden in many cases because they live in an apartment and they miss gardening, or they want to have their own gardens. They want to grow fresh food. Share it with them. Share crop. You grow the food, I'll take some, you take some. But that's just another way to get outside. And also, when you get your hands in the dirt, there's good bacteria in healthy dirt. Organic soil, of course. And that good bacteria is actually very good for you. You want to get dirty. There's the hygienic hypothesis, which is out there, that's saying in our society right now, we're too clean. And because of it, our body is not being exposed to good bacteria or bad bacteria, and the body isn't learning how to fight it off. And so now when you are exposed to something serious, your immune system is already weakened because you haven't exposed it to certain things. So it's pretty cool that maybe it's a good idea to play in the dirt. It'll be good for you and, may save a couple of bucks too. Increase the fiber in your diet. This kind of ties into getting the bowels moving. Your bowels should move 2 to 3 times a day. How many people have that? Raise your hands. I can't see you, so you can raise your hands. When I say 2 to 3 times a day, people say you mean a week or a month. No, a day. Food in should mean food out. So this is a good indicator that you're not eating enough plants. If your bowels aren't moving at least twice a day, you're not eating enough plants. And so you got to get more plants or plant-based diet into your life. Because fiber is important because when you eat food, stomach breaks proteins into amino acids. It goes into the small intestine. The bacteria in the small intestine start breaking down the food. They spit out what they don't like, and you absorb what the bacteria spit out. That's kind of digestion in a nutshell there. And if you're eating fiber, the fiber has something in it called prebiotics, which feed the bacteria. The bacteria can use the fiber, but you can't. And they grow, make more bacteria babies, and you have a healthy colon. When you don't have enough fiber, chances are the food is sitting in your colon and it rots. And when food rots, it gives off carcinogenic gases, but it also can kill off the bacteria. And so fiber is going to be a key. And where do you get that from? Plants. If you don't know what to eat, on my website, drjoeesposito.com, bottom right-hand corner, I have a link. It says, give me your email address, send me your email address, and I'll send you a link to a lecture I did called So What Can I Eat? Because people don't know what to eat, and I did a whole hour on it. It's real easy. And I have a book written just for you, too. It's called Eating Right for the Health of It. And that tells you, the first half of the book tells you how to change your diet, and the second half of the book is well over 200 recipes. And people say, well, I don't cook. I don't like to cook. Nothing in this is hard to do. It's real easy stuff. It's stuff you can throw together, but it also gives you guides on how to go to parties, breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, holidays, raising kids. It's all there. Those are on my website, drjoeesposito.com, for the books. And Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source. You know, the smallest step makes a big difference. If you're not willing to do anything else, Dr. Joe, I ain't willing to do anything. Or you want to make some changes, but what's the biggest thing you can do? I would say, nutrition-wise, take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. There are two powders. I take a scoop of each. I mix it with coconut milk. I've got it sitting right here in front of me. Let's see if you can hear it shaking. Hear that? Okay, that's my Super Greens and Essential Source. And I take that at least once a day. And if I'm going to do something exciting, like go on a date, or I'm going to go hiking, or if I'm going to give a big lecture, sometimes there's big audiences I have to perform, sometimes hours I have to speak, I'll take a double dose. A lot of companies hire me to come in and do seminars for them because the productivity in their company skyrocket when you have lectures like this, because people love it. They want to get well. They just don't know how. So they hire me to come in. Now, I do a lot of public lectures, so go to my website. Love to have you come out to the public lecture, see if I'm in your area. We lecture all over the place, all over the country. And see if I'm in your area. Love to have you come out to the public lectures. They're a lot of fun, drjoeesposito.com. But at least the Super Greens and the Essential Source as a first step, because that's going to start giving you the nutrients that your body needs to work at a much higher level. And when you start doing that, you're going to say, wow, I really do have more energy. Wow, I am sleeping better. Wow, my love life is improving. I'm thinking clearer. I'm working better. My boss is noticing how much better I'm working. A lot of people tell me they lose weight. Because when you're hungry, you're not hungry for food, you're hungry for nutrition. And we just kind of front load you on nutrition. And when you do that, the brain says, I'm good. That's what I needed. Thank you. And when I start running low on nutrition again, I'll let you know I'm hungry again. And your small intestine is going to produce a hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelins go up to the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus tells you that you're hungry. When you eat good food, your stomach produces leptin. Leptin is a hormone that goes up into your hypothalamus and says, okay, I'm full. Thank you. You can stop eating now. And if you're eating things like high fructose corn syrup or sugars, it slows down your production of leptin and increases your production of ghrelin, which means leptin, what? Makes you feel full. Ghrelin makes you feel hungry. So the more sugar you eat, the hungrier you're going to feel. Anybody do that? Works for me. If I eat something, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, even if they're vegan, if they have sugar in them, as soon as I eat them, I want to eat more. I could eat hummus and celery and I'm done. I don't have cravings for more hummus and celery. But if I eat a piece of cake or a cookie or crackers, I want more. And so we're talking today about little things you can do to help improve your health, little tiny baby steps. And so I'm going to have to go to a break soon. But if you'd like to come see us at our offices, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Again, we do chiropractic work, nutritional work, pain management work, working on digestive systems. We'd love to have you come see us. The website to make an appointment, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe with the number one Dr. Joe in the world. And we'll set you up a time to come in. We accept most major medical insurances. Even if we don't accept your insurance, the chances are that if we did accept it, we wouldn't even be able to meet your deductible because we don't charge that much. So that's what's so exciting about this, because people come in all the time and say, well, Doc, I have a $6,000 deductible and you don't charge near that. And I said, yeah, I know. So don't worry about that. Come in and see us. When you call to make an appointment, we'll give you all the details. If you make an appointment, show up and be ready to make some changes. So make an appointment, stop suffering, and tell your friends to stop suffering. Go to the website, drjoeesposito.com. Hey, don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more to talk about. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here. And today we're talking about little things that you can do every day to improve your health. Now, I'm kind of rapid firing this show. So if you didn't get everything, or if you hear something, you're driving, don't try to write while driving. Go to my website. We're going to put this show in my archives, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. And there's hundreds of hours of radio shows there. Also, I videotape live lectures that I do, because some people are visual learners and some people are auditory. And I want you to learn this. So what we do is whenever I do a live lecture, I try to videotape it if I'm allowed. Sometimes big corporations don't let me do that when they hire me. And I put it on my website, and you can watch me, because some people learn visually, some people are auditory. Now, there's a lot of things about health that I can't teach you on radio because they're physical. And as a chiropractor, I'm always talking about the physical aspects of health. Pinched nerves going to your lungs, your heart, your spleen, your kidneys, your sex organs, your colon. And if you have a pinched nerve going to those organs, we got to get those bones put back in place to open up the nerve supply. So that's why so many people go to chiropractors for pain, and after a few treatments go, my asthma's getting better, or, my kidneys are working better, or, gosh, my vision is clearing up. Because when you open up the nerve supply, the body really heals. And that's the excitement of chiropractic. That's why after 32 years of being in practice, not counting all my education that I had, I'm still more excited today than ever to teach you how to get well. And that's what's so cool about this radio show, because this radio show is heard all over the world, that I get to spread this message to you, and then you get to send me emails with your questions. But a lot of times I'll just get an email saying, Doc, thank you. And here at the studio, I love it. When I come in, it's almost like, hey, Dr. Joe's here. Hey, let me tell you, I did this. I did the apple cider vinegar in the morning. My energy went up. Hey, I gave up my artificial sweetener. My headaches went away. Hey, Dr. Joe, I got chiropractic care, and I don't walk with a limp anymore. So it's really exciting to get people well, and that's why it's so rewarding to do what I do. So we're talking today about little things that you can do to improve your life. Now, if you drink soda, and I know a lot of you do, I want you to consider stopping doing that. But I'm not going to ask you to cut it out altogether. Regular soda is loaded with high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup causes you to get fat if you drink enough of it, and one can is the whole day. One can of soda is a whole day's worth of sugar right there. The only thing worse than that is the diet sodas, the artificial sweeteners. Because of all the 7 foods I teach you about, what I call the 7 deadly sins of nutrition: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweeteners. Of the 7 deadly sins, I know that's your whole diet, right? The worst thing you can do is the artificial sweetener. And so the cool part is that now, in today's day and age, we have soda sweetened with something called stevia. Stevia is a sweetener, 0 calories, 100% safe for diabetics, has minerals and nutrients in it. Isn't that wild? And so you can do stevia sweetened soda, and it tastes great. And they have cola, and they have all different flavors, and so you're fine. If you have to have your cola for your caffeine, you can do that. So I want you to switch from regular soda and diet soda to stevia sweetened soda. Eats off smaller plates. This is an interesting thing, too, because a lot of studies have been shown that if you have a big plate, you want to fill up that plate and eat it all. If you eat off a smaller plate, psychologically, you're going to think, I'm full. I've had a meal and I'm done. So in my house, I have little tiny plates, and then I have medium-sized plates, and I have big plates. And I try to use the medium-sized plates whenever I possibly can, because psychologically, you're just going to feel better eating a whole plate of food as opposed to a bigger whole plate of food. So you can play little tricks on yourself to do that. Don't eat late at night. Little trick that I use on a regular basis is I do something called intermittent fasting. Now, what the heck does that mean? What I want you to do is understand how the body works. Whenever I eat a meal, it's going to take me about 8 hours for it to get through my system, from my stomach into my small intestine and move on, okay? So after 8 hours, then my body starts to turn to fat to start burning fat. So if you have breakfast, this is how I do it. It works best for me, and you can try skipping breakfast, but I have breakfast and lunch. And then whenever the opportunity arises, because my schedule is crazy, I skip dinner. Because after lunch, 8 hours after lunch, my body starts becoming a fat-burning machine. Now, for a year, I was overweight when I was a little kid, and I lost weight. And then I started putting a little weight back on, and I wanted to get down to my high school weight again. Wouldn't that be nice, everybody back to their high school weight? I'm real close to it, by the way. I'm only about 3 pounds heavier than I was in high school now. And I said, okay, I'm going to start eating better, but I still couldn't get the weight off. So I went into intermittent fasting, and I skipped dinner usually twice a week. Now, you get hungry? Yeah, you get hungry. Relax. Have a little water. You'll be fine. And you go to bed, first of all, you're going to sleep a whole lot better. And when you wake up the next morning, you're going to find how much lighter you feel, how much more energy you have, and how much more energy you have throughout the day. So for breakfast, I always have Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. That's the given. No day goes by without that. And then later in the day, if I have a big event, I'll have a second dose. Right around 10 o'clock or so, I start getting a little hungry. I'll have some hummus and celery. I'll have a handful of nuts, about 3 handfuls of nuts, actually. Let's be real. Lunch is usually a salad. Sometimes I'll go out to lunch. But I'll always try to get something light, and because I don't want to fall asleep in the afternoon. And here's my challenge to you. I want you to go out for lunch one day or at home and make yourself a big salad. Have a big salad, see how you feel. And if you don't know how to make salad, you can buy a pre-bagged and buy some organic salad dressing. You can add a can of chickpeas to it. I like toasted walnuts or toasted almonds on my salad. Sesame seeds toasted up are real nice. So have a big salad, or just eat whatever you're going to eat, okay? Well, let's go back. Let me do this first. And then notice how you feel after your salad that afternoon. You're going to be tired. 3 o'clock, you're going to need coffee. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be grumpy. I talk to teachers all the time. When are kids' grades better, morning or afternoon? Teachers, kids' grades better, morning or afternoon? Raise your hands if it's morning. 100% of your hands went up. Because after lunch, the junk that most kids eat for lunch, their brains and their bodies just shut down. So have a healthy meal. The next day, I want you to have a couple of slices of pizza, maybe a diet soda, maybe a calzone. See how you feel. You'll be exhausted. You have to be. Nobody is immune to this. And you're going to say, wow, I always thought I was just tired in the afternoon. No, you're tired after lunch in the afternoon. Have a better lunch. Okay? But if you can skip dinner, you'll be amazed how much better you feel. And I find I lose about a half a pound every time I go into an intermittent fasting cycle. And if you can do that 2-3 days a week, unbelievable. Even if you don't change your diet, which you should. And you should take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Essential Source every day. But even if you don't change your diet, just by skipping dinner and not eating anything, don't eat anything, it kind of ruins the whole thing. Don't have a cracker, a little bit, no, nothing from lunch till breakfast. And you'll be fascinated how good you feel. I cover that in my new book. My new book is called Prescription for Extreme Health, and I cover that pretty in depth, and it's really cool. Now, you want to drink water. You don't want to, dehydrate. But that's a neat little trick you can do. A, you save a ton of money. You're skipping a meal. And B, you give your bowels a chance to rest. The number one consumer of energy we have as humans is romance. The number 2 consumer of energy is digestion. And if you're eating every 8 hours, you're never giving your digestive system a break. And when you give it a break, I promise you're going to be very, very happy with the results. Now, if you're hypoglycemic, if you start getting dizzy, you might want to shorten that time between meals. Maybe you want to have an early dinner, like a 4 o'clock dinner then. But I find that once you start doing it, you can move it back an hour, then another hour. Even if you have dinner, just have a light dinner at 5 o'clock and then say, okay, let's see if I can go to 4 o'clock and have a light dinner. Go back to 3 o'clock. Now you're at lunchtime already and you're able to do it. So you may have to cut back. But it's all in my book, Prescription for Extreme Health, which, by the way, everyone should have a copy of. And when you order it, ask and I might be nice and sign it for you. I don't know. All right, I'll sign it for you. What the heck? So skipping meals is really pretty cool stuff. So not eating late at night is really going to be a key there. We talked about working out, too. If you don't know what you like, if you don't have time to go work out, get yourself a jump rope. Get your jump rope, and I want you to jump really hard, if you don't know how to jump rope. Warm up a little bit first, and then go as hard as you can for about 15 seconds. And then rest for about 45 seconds. And then hard as you can for 15 to 20 seconds, rest for about a minute. So 15 to 20 seconds, about a minute rest. If you can do that 8 times, that's called peak 8 or interval training, high-intensity interval training. That's a whole workout right there. You can get a whole workout done in 20 minutes. And if you go 30 seconds on and a minute or 2 off, 30 seconds on, a minute or 2 off, whatever your exercise is, bicycling, running, jumping rope, running up and down the stairs in your house, That's a whole day's workout right there in 15 to 20 minutes. And you'll be fascinated how much better you feel. And you don't even have to go out. I can't afford a gym. You can afford a piece of rope. If not, let me know, and I probably got a few laying around my house I can give you. But when you do that, you'll be fascinated. Do housework. Dry your shower. These are little tricks you can do. I have never chemically cleaned my shower. I had this shower done about 2 years ago. Because every time I'm done, I have glass shower with tile, and I have a squeegee. I squeegee off the windows, and then I squeegee off the tiles. Never have I cleaned it. And then I dry it with a towel. Now, it takes about a minute, minute and a half to do that. But that alone is exercise in the morning. You got to squat down. You got to stand up. You got to bend over. You got to move around. And when you get the body in motion, especially early in the morning, it kind of lays out the day for you. It's really kind of cool. So drying your shower could be exercise. Something I can't do when it comes to health. I can't do a buffet because it takes me 20 minutes to get the messages from my stomach to my brain telling me I'm full. And I grew up poor, and I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, 2 days ago, about this. And I said, one of my doctors, sorry, Dr. Irwin. I was talking to Dr. Irwin, and I said, when I was young, we were very poor. So if there was food, we ate it. We ate as much as we could. Now, there was always food. I'm not saying we were that poor, but we were taught you eat everything, you don't waste anything. And so if I start eating, it triggers this like ancient thing in my brain that says eat as much as you can. Even if it's food, if it's vegan, if it's raw food, vegan, organic food, I can't do it. I have to be able to eat slow enough to give my brain 20 minutes to get the message from my stomach. And so I don't go to buffets anymore. It's never worth it. And if you go to a restaurant and a meal is too big, you could always just get side orders. Because, again, I'm a vegan. And so if I go out to lunch or dinner and there's nothing on the menu that I'm really interested in, I'll just look at the side orders. I'll have a salad, a baked potato, some broccoli. The cool part is this. You're going to save, once again, a ton of money. Because as a chiropractor, my job is I want to get you well. And from a structural standpoint, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, muscle aches, I always check for pinched nerves. My team of doctors, we all do. You know, we have Dr. Bruns, Dr. Oman, Dr. Kat, Dr. Dave, and Dr. Irwin, and me. And so our job is to find out where the problems are and fix it physically, but I want you to take control chemically. And so I don't do buffets anymore because I eat too much. So you really want to skip that. And if I'm just going to order off the side dishes, I was out the other day. Where was I? I was out with my buddy Tim, that's right. And we went to a Cuban restaurant. And there was really not a whole lot for me to eat. I've been to Cuba. I was invited to Cuba, by the way, many years ago by the Cuban Olympic Committee. They wanted me to do some consulting with the Olympic Committee, and that was a lot of fun. I met with Castro's personal physician, Dr. Grande. I loved his name, Dr. Grande. And I met with the Olympic team, and I met with the gold medalist, and they took me around to training facilities. It was sad. I can tell you stories about that. And well, it's sad because of what we have here and what they have there. It really was a lesser, I don't know if it's a third world country, maybe between second and third. But everybody I talk to just wants out. They're just fascinated by Americans. Now, of course, it's open, but they were fascinated by Americans, and they were not happy there. So anyway, but I digress. No politics here. But I went to a Cuban restaurant, and there was really nothing on the menu I could eat. And so I said, can I just have a big bowl of rice and beans? Sure. I had a bowl of rice and beans. My meal, I think it was $2. Tim's meal, like $14. So he was a big shot. He paid for my meal that night. But I felt full. He felt full. And so it was a much better choice. When you're eating plants, I got fiber, I got vitamins, minerals, nutrients. So it's a lot cheaper that if there's nothing on the menu that you have to have, just go to the side dishes. And you know what? Nobody cares either. Well, I'm going to feel weird. Nobody cares what you're doing. Everybody cares what they're doing. Trust me, I've been doing this for a long time. Now, we're talking about small things you can do all day, every day. But the one thing that you might not be able to do for yourself is deal with a condition that's causing pain. One of the things that causes pain, the most common things, are bones pinching nerves. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, acid reflux, I recommend, well, a lot of chiropractors, most doctors don't know how to do that, but our office we do. We pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. But what I'm saying is if you have pain, I want you to consider going to a chiropractor and get it checked. And most people are very happy when they make that decision. Now, if you want to come see us, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We'd love to see you. Go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. Make an appointment. Now, People say all the time, I've been listening to you for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I've been following your research for 30 years. I don't know why I didn't come in sooner. So don't be one of those people. Come in now and get your life back to normal and get your life back to being happy and pain-free and functioning better. So go to the website, drjoeesposito.com. We'll set you up a time to come in. We accept most insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. I say this every time, and every time somebody comes in, I've never seen a car accident ever where the car was damaged and the occupants weren't. Ever. So if you're in a car accident, you damaged yourself. Come see us. The sooner the better, but even if it was 50 years ago, come see us. So go to the website. You can do it online or give us a call, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, and we'll set you up a time to come see us. We're more than happy to work with you. But if you make an appointment, you better show up. Don't mess with my schedule, and you better be ready to make some changes. Not everything, but something. Most people are very happy with that decision. When you're cooking food, especially meats, if you're going to eat meat, we said only eat organic or any animal products, or don't eat it. But I want to talk about how to cook your meat. What you want to do is if you grill the meat, you get those grill marks. And those grill marks are called heterocyclic amines. Heterocyclic amines are known carcinogens. So I want you to not grill the meat with grill marks because even though they taste good, I remember those days, it was 30 years ago, they're producing carcinogens. Now, if you're grilling over a barbecue and that nice smell of grilled meat wafts in the air, it smells so good, when the fat hits the coals, they produce something called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons are known carcinogens. It's cancer. It can cause cancer. So if you're going to eat meat, again, I wouldn't do it, but if you do, steam it or bake it instead of grilling it. And if you fry it, that's not a good idea either. Now, it's interesting. I was giving a lecture the other day. A company hired me to come in and speak. There's 60 employees there. And they were trying to be healthy, kind of show off in front of me. So they had sandwiches, sub-sandwiches, all meat. And they had baked potato chips as opposed to fried. And I just read a research article last week, and I never knew this. And it said when you fry anything, when you fry carbohydrates especially, you produce a chemical called acrylamides. Acrylamides are known carcinogens, very, very high on a carcinogen scale. So those French fries that you like that are all crunchy, the crunchier they are, the more burned they are, the more acrylamides. Well, nobody ever did this, I guess, until this study. And they tested the acrylamide levels of baked chips versus fried chips. So the first thing you would think is that, of course, the baked chips are better. Wasn't true. The baked chips actually had more acrylamides than the fried ones. Ain't that a kick in the head? So when you're frying, especially carbohydrates, so if you like donuts, if you like, funnel cakes, when you heat those carbohydrates at a high temperature, you're producing acrylamides. So I really want you to stay away from fried foods because that's not a good thing. Taking supplements is going to be a huge thing that you can take because people come in all the time and say, Dr. Joe, what do you recommend for a multivitamin? When I created Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, originally it was just fruit and vegetable powders, and that was great. Then I said, let's add some prebiotics and probiotics to it. And Ron, my chemist, unfortunately passed away recently. We added prebiotics and probiotics to it. And then I said, Ron, we got to get a multivitamin too. He says, why don't we just put the multivitamin right in with the Super Greens and the Essential Source? What's in the Essential Source? And so now it's a complete multivitamin, prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and it's the fruit and vegetables. And that's why I think everyone should at least take that. And that's a real small step that you can do that really gives you an amazing benefit above everybody else. So I take a scoop of each, Super Greens and Essential Source, at least once a day. And those are on my website, by the way, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. We come right up there for you. Go for your walk. If nothing's on TV, go for a walk. We talked about this earlier. If you're going to be in a long conversation on the phone, go for a walk. But make sure you're using an earpiece. Do not put the phone next to your ear. You increase the heat. The electromagnetic frequency increases the heat around your brain. And I did a show a while ago, and somebody called in. He said, Dr. Joe, thank you for saying that. I had 2 tumors in my brain, both benign, but both very serious. I had to have them both removed. He said I was disabled because of it, and it was right where the antenna for my phone was. And then I had another doctor call in, and he says, no one's talking about environmental health. He says, and thank you for talking about this because I'm so happy, and I'll have my patients listen to your shows because no one talks about the environmental health. So as a chiropractor, of course, I want your nervous system working properly. I don't want you to have pain. There's 206 bones in the body. Any one of them can come out of place, so we can adjust any one of the 206 bones, including your skull, by the way. Just talking to my friend Alan before I went on the air, and I was talking about getting your skull manipulated. He goes, your skull moves? I said, yeah, your skull is, when you're born, moves. You watch a baby nurse, you'll see the skull go up and down, but even as adults, your skulls move. And if they're jammed up, that can cause serious problems with brain function. So we want to get, as chiropractors, we want to get you out of pain and get the nervous system working. Acid reflux, we can pull the stomach away from the diaphragm and hopefully resolve that acid reflux. I had that condition, so I know how to fix it, and all my doctors do. And then we want to get you on a good diet, and keeping the body in motion is going to be the key. And that's why we're kind of going through this today. And I may do a lot of shows like this. This is kind of a fun show here, just kind of rattling off things that you can do all day, every day. If you're going to do fats, I want you to stay away from soybean oil, corn oil, and canola oil. Those are all high in omega-6 fatty acids. We want to switch to things like extra virgin olive oil. Now, here's a little trick for you. Was it 18 of the major companies, if I remember the study right, were mixing their olive oil with cheaper oils and then adding fragrance to it to make it smell like olives. And there was a big bust in Italy, and it was coming here in the United States too. So here's the thing. If you buy oil and you don't know if it's good or not, put it in the refrigerator. Leave it overnight. If it starts to get thick and cloudy, it's a good oil. If it doesn't get thick and cloudy, it's cheap. And don't buy that one again. And take it back to the grocery store. And tell them, hey, listen, I did a test on this, and this is not good olive oil. Want my money back. And they'll consider it. And some of the brand names, I won't say brand names on the air, big names that you know, they got busted. So if you're going to use oil, olive oil, coconut oil, absolutely positively, extra virgin organic coconut oil is just awesome because it has medium-chain fatty acids in it. Medium-chain fatty acids can actually help your immune system. Lauric acid, which is found in the coconut oil, is very good for the immune system, and you can use it on your skin. Now, I had a dermatologist, a patient come in and say, my dermatologist said not to use coconut oil on your skin. It clogs up your pores. I've been using it. I've known a lot of people using it, and they've never had that problem, so I can't vouch for that. But it can be used for just about anything, cuts and sores. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get older, our bodies may not work, let's say, in the romantic department as well as it used to. Coconut oil is an excellent assistant. We'll keep it clean because there's family members listening. Because it's a wonderful lubricant, but it actually can help heal dried out tissue. So there's another purpose for it. And you can even brush your teeth with it. Because, again, the medium-chain fatty acids and the lauric acid is great. If you take baking soda and coconut oil, mix it together, put a little bit on your toothbrush, and brush your teeth with it, rocks. Really cleans your teeth, helps whiten your teeth, non-toxic, because a lot of toothpaste have fluoride in them. And fluoride is a highly toxic chemical. I am blown away that we still use fluoride in this country. So many other countries have outlawed fluoride because of the research is so clear how dangerous it is. And yet, for some reason, we keep putting it in our water, in our toothpaste. I would never use a toothpaste that has fluoride in it. Because if you put it on your teeth, I won't even argue that point. I disagree with it, but if you put it on your teeth, it's supposed to help cavities. But what do you do with toothpaste? You swallow it. Read the side of your toothpaste tube, your commercial toothpaste tube. Read the side of it, and it will say something along the lines of, warning, harmful if swallowed, call poison control. It's toothpaste. Where do you put toothpaste? In your mouth. And what are you going to do with it? You're going to swallow some. And your mouth is the skin is very thin, and you can absorb things through your mouth. That's why some drugs are given sublingually, so they can absorb. Sublingual means under your tongue. So I would never use fluoride in my toothpaste ever, and that's why coconut oil and a little baking soda. You can add some cinnamon to it if you want to shake it up, a little essential oil, some peppermint. Really great toothpaste. Kind of fun stuff. Also, I make a deodorant out of it. Coconut oil, baking soda, and tea tree oil, and that's on my and shea butter. It's on my website. That's deodorant I use, and it's on my website. The website's drjoeesposito.com, and there you can listen to archive radio shows. You can order Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, get my books, Eating Right for the Health of It, Prescription for Extreme Health. Send me questions through the website. We have videos on the website. Great source of information, folks. And all that information's free. The products aren't, of course, but everything else. And if you want to make an appointment to come see us, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. We come right up, and we'll set you an appointment to come in. We accept most insurances. Even if you don't have insurance that we accept, because some of them aren't even worth us accepting, it's still less expensive than even meeting your deductible. In this environment, that's how it is. And sometimes your copay is more than what we even charge. So Go to my website, drjoeesposito.com. Tell your friends about it. Make an appointment today, folks. Stop suffering needlessly. The biggest complaint I get is what? Why didn't I do this sooner? Folks, thanks for listening. Go to the website, make an appointment, get the products, drjoeesposito.com. Talk to you next time.